Maybe you couldn't, but you probably can now. I was muted. I think I was muted. Was I muted? Sorry about that. Lots of stuff going on when you live stream. You've got chat going on. You've got the feed. Is it going through? Is it audio? What's happening? Is it working? You spend a lot of time trying to troubleshoot live streams. I'll get better at it the more of them I do. I haven't done that many of them, but I'll get better at it for sure. Silver holding its head up at 87. Let me know where you're from. Hit me in the chat. Let's talk about some headlines here. Hedge funds made $24 billion shorting software stocks so far this year, and they're increasing the bet. So they're thinking that it's going to go down. Everybody's been calling for a bubble. But, hey, at the end of the day, I'm in. I'm in the market. We're going to have these drawdowns. Now, one thing that I thought was interesting that I'll share with you that I saw, let's see if I can pull it up here. Indexes. Right here. Let me see if it on the daily it shows up. Yeah, right here. So if you remember, or maybe you don't remember, I do, but it seems like it happened and it just kind of went away. But this would have been February 20th of last year. We had this. This is when Trump tariffs kicked in, and he called it, what did he call it, Liberation Day. That happened there on this downturn. And then we basically V-shaped recovery. I mean, or U, and probably more V. So we went down, and that took from this indicator right here, that was February 20th, all the way to April the 9th. So we were a month and a half down, and then actually, if you take this into account, we really didn't come out of it until here. So that was in May. So from February to May, things were very similar to the way they are right now. Feel very, very similar. So could that be happening this time? It could be. And then look, from there, we went on a major climb to where we are now. And then look, I mean, you can't even, where we are now, that's the Dow. Let's go look at the NASDAQ. So yeah, so this is that software. We were just talking about that, the software AI trade. So yeah, it's starting to tail off right here. But on the daily, we still have a strong bullish indicator on the daily. Let's see what the weekly is. Yep, still strong right here on the weekly. Daily, we still have it. This is on the NASDAQ. And then on the 4 hour, we turned strong bear on the 4 hour. And then on the hourly, we are strong bear. And then we're going to be, let's see what the 30-minute is, which doesn't really matter when you're talking indicators. Yeah, we're having a little pump right now, I guess, on the NASDAQ. Let's see what the S&P 500 looks like going back on the daily. So yeah, kind of mimicking everything else, going back up. So the NASDAQ and the S&P are very similar, the trend. Their charts are very similar, But when we go to the Dow looks like it's holding up with a little bit more strength just right here on the tail end. So that's an interesting view. Silver, this is silver on the daily. Been climbing and then took that major hit right there and trying to come out of it. Will we get back to 121? If we do, how soon? How soon will we get there? Good question. Got my other camera back. Might have been because I was on mute. Still holding on one. We got one person. Say hi to me. Love to get to know you. There we go. Got a second person. Say hey in the chat. Let me know where you're from. Got a new person on here. Tell me where you're from. We were just talking about the charts, silver. That's huge right there. You talk about a lot of liquidity. Wow. So yeah, I want to let's talk about. I did a video the other day, and I was talking about the vanished. It evaporated. The money just got wiped out. Wiped out of the market. Well, not really. It just traded hands. You got to have a buyer and a seller on both sides of a trade for it to be a trade. And so somebody's selling an asset and then exchanging it for another asset or a dollar, fiat. So somebody was selling the silver when we took. So a lot of people sold their silver into cash. So people were positive cash, negative silver, positive silver, negative cash. Right. That's the way it works. So just looking at the news headlines. Oil prices jump. I did see, I thought this was interesting. Let's look at this for a second. And I didn't think I would be saying this, but we're going to talk about it. Let's see if I can find it in my list here. It's an energy ETF. I don't see it in here. I thought I added it, but maybe I didn't. Let me refresh this. I was eyeballing this for my portfolio, and some analysts are saying that you look out for this. Let me just add a symbol. Kind of hold your suspense here. It's a little too long. All right. This is State Street Energy Select Sector ETF. It's XLE is the ticker. This thing here, people are thinking this thing could go, as it follows the commodity trade. So gold, silver, all of these. So we're in this mineral war, right? With gold, silver, all of these precious metals, rare earth stuff. And so they're thinking that energy, oil, is going to be the next big play as people, countries, nations jockey for positioning. And mainly because of Venezuela, that changed the game quite a bit for us and having that access to oil. So then you got India doing a trade deal with Russia, and India saying that they won't sell their oil to or they won't buy oil from Russia any longer. And so that was huge. And so now the thinking is are we going to get this dynamic going on with the energy sector? And so in this XLE, all your main Chevron, it's at 25 it holds, and it's all your main oil players like Chevron, BP, Conoco, Marathon, all of them, they're all in it. And so I'm keeping an eye on this. I'm primarily a tech person, but I also don't ignore the narrative and the trend. And the narrative and the trend right now is definitely pointing towards, obviously with the gold and silver trade, copper. There's talk about all these other precious metals. We're gonna really see, what energy, utilities, how all that plays into it. So I've pretty much been a heavy tech person, and then I've started to look at some other sectors just because of the narrative play. And XLE came up on my radar. It's got a very low expense ratio. It's 0.08, which is good. That's like Vanguard. That's very competitive to Vanguard. And it pays dividends. All these oil companies, they pay some pretty decent, some of the best dividends out there. So checking on the live stream. Who's with me still? So XLE is a play I'm looking at, and then that's pretty much in those silver miners, silver and gold miners. Here's your Sprott silver miner, physical silver ETF. I like this one. Of course, it's been going up for quite a while. So down here, we were in the 1920. A lot of analysts think that this is extremely undervalued. And I guess it really depends on what silver does, because it's going to react to silver. And the gold one. Here's the gold VanEck gold miners ETF. So this one, very similar to this. Not much different. So kind of a proxy play there, or a rotation play potentially. I think these are very undervalued, so I'm looking at those pretty hard. Let's get back to the NASDAQ. Yeah, it's just hasn't been a good week so far. The markets have been getting nailed, and crypto's especially been getting nailed. It's actually not bad here in the last hour, but the trend. I mean, you can see all the blood. It's terrible, but it will come back. It will do it. You got to keep your head up. We're so early in this crypto space. It's not going to zero. There are going to be some that do go to zero. I mean, you start scrolling down here for all you crypto people out there. You start getting past this 100 here, It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to hang on. I mean, let's just going down through here. Names that are, let's just see what we've got here. Going down through the list and where some of these are sitting now. Solana's still holding up. Of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm just going to call out the things that jump out at me. Cardano, not in the top 10 anymore. That's passed by Bitcoin Cash. That's very close to the same market cap. So I would expect Cardano to come back into play there. Hyperliquid, 12th now, but they've been on a run. So 9 billion. So that Hyperliquid making a play. Monero at 14th. That's a privacy coin. Very interesting on that one. Canton. Where in the world? What? I don't know anything about Canton. Haven't been paying attention to that one. Wild. Let's see. World Liberty, 20th. Not a big fan. Let's see. Zcash. Zcash went on a tear for a while. It's giving it all back. Avalanche down to 23. That's under $10. Wow. That's painful. That's pretty painful. Sui's still hanging in there, 24. I mean, it's a fairly new coin out there. Blockchain, it's one of my favorites. That one, Solana, Ethereum, those are my top three. Hedera's hanging in there. It's dropped a little bit though. Another good one. Now that was the World Liberty. That was their USD up here. Here's the actual World Liberty token. Not a fan. PayPal. Look at how much market cap PayPal's USD stablecoin's getting now. That's surprising to see. Toncoin, Kronos hanging in there. Polkadot continuing to fall. $1.47. All-time high was 53. It was 55. So this is how far off from the all-time high. Let's see some other names in here. BitTensor 37, Aave, a lot of the DeFi stuff still hanging in there pretty well. Near's fallen quite a bit. Let's see. Ondo taking it on the chin lately. This one here could be an interesting play. With all the tokenization going on, they've just been quiet lately. I don't know what's happening. Polygon continues to fall. If it weren't for Polymarkets, I don't know if this one would even still be around much longer. Cosmos continuing to die. Algorand, jeez. Some of these at midnight. That's the other coin to go with Cardano, their privacy coin, I believe. Render's still keeping its head up, I guess, all things considered. Jupiter's done okay lately. Say they just, all the altcoins just can't catch a break right now. Pudgy Penguins. If I was going to get into a meme coin, that would be the one. I do have some Pudgy Penguins. All of these are just taking such a hit. FET continuing to fall. Injective. I really like Injective. It's just, wow. Amazing how much it's fallen in 1 year. It's unbelievable. Immutable X. Aerodrome has gone down. It's base. That's the big DEX for base. It'll be interesting to see how many of these make it and how many don't. Some of them have some good utility, like Helium. Just taking it on the chin hard. Yeah, so why is this happening? Well, I think all of the attention and all of the momentum right now is in this narrative right here. Gold and silver. It's just taking all the oxygen out of the room and you can't breathe. That's what's going on, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. Who would have thought, right? And it's all this macro being the fear in the market. People just scared. They just don't know what's going to happen. So they run to, assets like gold and silver. People say, well, I thought Bitcoin was supposed to be that. Well, it still is. It's just going through a time right now. I think a lot of the capital moved into gold and silver, and it's just eating it up. So when we look at this is interesting here. Silver's been back and forth with NVIDIA, especially after it went down from 121. We were $121 an ounce. This was way up. I think it got over 6 trillion, and then it went below NVIDIA, I think yesterday or the day before, and now it's reclaimed it because NVIDIA has gone down. NVIDIA, there's the AI trade, but they're still posting decent numbers. So, Bitcoin falling down 1.4 trillion. But still relative. I mean, when you look at the names it's around, and it can change in a moment's notice. The narrative can spin so fast with Bitcoin. And then this doesn't help either. When you've got your debt and that's driving the gold silver trade. And then let's look at the VIX and the Dixie while we're the strength of the dollar. Let's go stocks. Go here. Let's see VIX. So this is the volatility. S&P volatility. It's holding okay. Let's see. Let's get it on the hourly. It's up. The DXY. The dollar's strong. And look, we're on a really strong trend right now. That Lux algo. So TradingView, for all of you who don't know, this is TradingView. If you don't use TradingView, I highly recommend it. I use it all the time to look at charts. I'm not a TA person, technical analyst. I'm not I don't analyze charts. It's not my game. I do look at general trends, and that's, reading charts is, I can do the basics, but I'm not a TA person. So, but I can tell you that, the indicators there are from Lux Algo, LUXALGO, and that's basically an indicator that you can purchase, and then it integrates in with TradingView. So you can purchase both. You can actually use TradingView for free. They have a free version, but if you want watch lists and alerts and a lot of the extra stuff, you have to be on the paid version. And they do run big sales, by the way, on TradingView. I know they do over Christmas, Black Friday and Christmas. They do like 70% off. So if you ever want to get in and get a subscription, that's the best time to do it. And I think in June, midway through the year, they also have a big sale going on. So it's like maybe around 4th of July, June, July. So that's another time to look at it. So, and that's what these indicators mean for those of you new to the channel and are new to investing and don't really know what these indicators mean. That's a strong bull. That is just bear. That's a strong bull, bear. This here is a strong bull, strong bear. So if it's a plus, it's strong. If it doesn't, it's strong, or bear, but it's not strong. It's bear or bull, but a plus makes it a strong bear or bull. So, and generally what you would do is, and I just use the default settings on Lux Algo. I don't try to get in there and get tricky with it, but you can change the time up here on the time of each candle would be that. So it's a 4-hour candle or a 1-hour candle. So on the 4-hour or on, say, the daily, you would look at this and say, okay, on the daily, and this is for the dollar, where the dollar index, right? Well, let's do this. Let's go look at, say, NVIDIA. So NVIDIA on the daily is a strong bear indicator. And so if you were looking at this, you would be looking to exit. It would be what you would be doing, or not necessarily exiting all your position, but we would have been a top. And so if you bought in way down here or even lower, you may want to look at preserving some capital. And so, let's look at, say, Google. Yeah, Google's been tearing it up. So it's still a strong bull. So look at the difference between Google, Microsoft, strong bear, Google, strong bull, Amazon. Now remember, this is on the daily. So we still got a strong bull on Amazon. Meta, we're strong bull. Strategy, been a downtrend all the way since July for the past 6 months. BMNR, Tom Lee, got all the way up to 161 and now at 20. Palantir, strong bear. AMD got hit. They released their earnings, which I think were okay, but it's just the AI trade. They're just getting scared out. So if we look at the Dow overall, we're strong bull. So let's see what silver is on the daily. Okay, we're bearish on the daily for silver. It's kind of if it were strong and you're in the paper silver, you may want to think about exiting at least some position. Not financial advice. You do you. Let's see what gold is. Gold probably still, same thing for gold. Let's look at Robinhood. Robinhood, strong bear. And all of this stuff has happened just since the first of the year. Coinbase, same thing. Tesla, just turned strong bear. So tech is taking it on the chin, ladies and gentlemen. That one, energy, that's the XLE, the energy trade. Interesting to look at there. This is Vanguard's dividend appreciation. This is tied into the Dow, mostly Dow stuff, so that's why it's strong. That's the thing with tech. When it's down, but when it's up, it's really up. However, I need to get the chart and pull it up for you guys. I don't have it. I'd have to dig for it, and I don't want to waste your time digging for it, but I have a chart that shows all the major sectors for the past year to date, year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, 15, maybe 20. I can't remember if 20's on there. But what happens is that if you would have been in, say, QQQ or any of the major tech ETFs, going back for the last 10 years, you'd be up 800% on your money. If even with all of the drawdowns and everything. I mean, we talked about it here in the NASDAQ. Let's look at the NASDAQ, and we go out back here. We were just talking about this a minute ago. We went on this February to April big downturn. It was awful, I remember. And then we made this big climb up, and then we flattened off. I started taking profits right around in here on a lot of my stuff. Started preserving some capital in here. However, I did come back in about in here and started redeploying some of it, not all. So I may have been a little impatient there, but overall, over time, I know this is what we're going to see. When in doubt, zoom out. So I want you to look at this. This is the Nasdaq, right? Or we'll look at the S&P 500. When you look at this, let's look at it on the minute. All right, this is a little exercise for all you new people that are maybe millennials, Gen Z, or you're a Gen Xer like me and haven't really gotten into the all the nitty gritty details of the markets and trading. Like I said, this is Trading View. It's a real time of the tickers. It's a great tool, very handy. Green candles mean good, right? Positive. Red candles mean not good, negative. And then we talked about the indicators, right? The Lux Algo indicators, which is a separate tool. And if you have questions about this, hit it in the chat, and I can answer your questions about TradingView, Lux Algo, some of these ETFs, stocks. I don't have many stocks. Most of my stuff's in ETFs. I have a few. I have Tesla and Robinhood and Coinbase. That's pretty much it for stocks. But I have a nice blend of ETFs. But yeah, if we look at this chart, and this is the minute, right? So every one of these candles is a minute. So you look at that and go, things aren't bad on the, this goes back here in my view, this goes back to February today, actually. Every one of these is a minute, and you see it just advanced another minute. So then we go to the 5 minute, right? And so it goes back, the chart in view goes back to basically the end of the year. Or I'm sorry, the end of the month. So January 30th. So you're looking at the 5 minute chart. So still not bad, right? You're like, it's not horrible, but you can see these trends here, right here. This big sell off. It just kept falling. Then we had a recovery and we kept falling. So what do we have here? Lower lows, lower highs. That's not a good sign. We really need to recapture this back up. Not sure if we will. We need some good news, some good macro news, something to turn us around. So then let's advance to the 15 minute. So now you can see it starts flattening out a little bit. You can still see the downturns, but they're not as pronounced over a wider period of time, right? So this goes back to January 22nd, 2026. So a couple weeks ago. And so now let's go to the 30 minute. And the gaps in here when the market's closed, probably weekends on that. So you can see here how it looks like we're just chopping along, right? And this goes back to January the 8th. So we're about a month, not quite a month is what this view is. So you look at that and you're like, okay. All right, and then so now if we go to the 1 hour, this is where I default. I start at 1 hour, and then I usually go to the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, or I go the other way. So I use 1 hour as my starting point. So if you look at this, you could say that on the 4 hour for the S&P, going back to December the 10th. So we're about 2 months is what this is showing us. 2 months of time. Generally speaking, we're in an uptrend. If you draw a line through here, we're going up, and S&P is still doing okay on the 1 hour. So let's go to the 4 hour. Now things start to change, right? Now we're really starting to say, okay, that's what the saying means. When in doubt, zoom out, right? So there it is, up and to the right, S&P 500 on the 4 hour. And this goes all the way back to July the 29th of last year. So over 6 months ago. So we're still doing good. So when they say when in doubt, zoom out, this is exactly what they mean. So let's go to the daily. The daily goes all the way back. So each candle now represents a day. And you can see most are green. You have some that's red. And this red was back that time we talked about. I think we're in a time like this right now. And we'll probably be in this for the next 2-3 months until we get to April, May. So things could be a little miserable for the next few months. So this goes back to basically a year, January 22nd. So we had that sell off, and then we've been coming up, and we've started to flatten off a little bit. Now, will we come back down? Will we stay flat or go up? No one really knows. So let's go to the weekly. Now, when you look at things on a weekly, so every candle now is 1 week, you got to say to yourself, things aren't too bad. You know, if I've been in the market now since, let's see, going back, this is February 1st of 2021. This is when I got in the crypto space, a little before this. So, speaking of that, let's go over here and look at Bitcoin on the weekly, going back in time. Let's get that out of you, okay? And this, so on the weekly, this goes back to February 15th, all right? You can see this is when I got in it. I was in it all during this time. I was in Bitcoin buying all during this. And around December the 22nd, I'll never forget it, was when we hit the low. Right in through here is when we hit the bottom. It was right this month, right in here, the end of 2022. And that's when it changed. And so you could make the argument, and many do, that that's when the actual bull run started. And that now we've hit this peak. We got up to 125, and now we're coming down off of it. So the question is where will this find the next bottom? Well, this is a key spot right here. This area right in here is key. So you're talking in the 50s, 60s, 50s. We could very well go there. But the older Bitcoin gets, the longer time goes by, the more the more that has back behind it. So will it go back down to this? I don't think so. Just like if you go back to the monthly, I don't know if this will show it or not. It's not going to show it really. Yeah, the monthly is too much. We could go this way. Yeah, there you go. So we were down here. This is Bitcoin going back in time. This was back in 2018. And if anybody who's been in crypto back before 2018 and that time frame, 2019, 2017, 18, 19, they'll tell you that this time in here was miserable. Actually, they'll tell you all the way until 2020. This whole window. Now we did have some good times right in through here, but then it just really didn't have. And that's when Bitcoin got up 12,000, 13, 14,000. Then it came back down, and then it was August of 2020 after COVID. This is when COVID hit, the pandemic. We had that, and then it recovered. And then right in through here was October 2020. All the money was injected into the economy, and that's when this stuff just started going crazy. So if you take this time right in here, Bitcoin was about 10,000, and then it went all the way up to 65 there, and then to 69 right there, and that was on November 8th, 2021. I remember it too. This is summer in here. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And then it turned around. No, a lot of people think now is what's going to happen here. What happened here is what's about. We could get that now. There's all this capitulation going on that we could turn around and then go past 126 and go to 150 and that be the top. So we'll see. Don't know. Now I'm gonna say one way or the other, in my opinion. It could change. We've seen it happen before. So going up. And then we get into this period. This was the December 2022, I was buying in here Bitcoin. And I just had a feeling that it was going to be the bottom in there. Because when you went from 69 all the way down to 15-ish, so what is that? That's 15, yeah, it's mid-15s. It just felt like all the exhaustion was gone. And then we turned around and went up and up and up and have been going. Then we leveled off in through here. This was in the beginning of 2023. We were wondering all of 2023, is this, are we going to go? And then all of a sudden, October of 2023, I remember it. We just started going on this absolute tear. Got past 69, our all-time high, which was in March of 2024. I remember it. And then we kind of leveled off, came back down a little bit, and then we made another jump up. This was in Christmas time, around Christmas 2024. And then we came down, and people thought that this was, we'd hit the top again. We got the 100, got the top, and then, it faked us out. Got us all the way back up to 126. This was back in October. This was when the big liquidation happened right in here. And then we've been going down since. So, where are we headed now? Don't know. Wouldn't surprise me if we got into this 55. I mean, we're pretty much at the top of this. I mean, we've got to get a turnaround like now. But you got to keep in mind that this is midterm year. It's in Trump's best interest to make sure this market's doing well. I don't know what their plan is, if they even have one, but we'll find out because he's not going to want to go into midterms with this going down. But he can tout inflation's coming down. He can tout prices are low, or for gas, at the pump. We're seeing some of the lowest gas prices we've seen in a while. He can tout the border. So he does have some pretty big accomplishments. But we'll see. We'll see. They better figure something out. They got this macro has got people on edge. So yeah, back to the 1 hour on Bitcoin. It just can't. It wants to get in, it falls off, and you just keep getting lower lows and lower highs, and this just downward trend. And this has been happening now since for a while. But it actually it's going to keep its head up. And then it's just been not good since the end of January. So we'll see. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up today. For all of y'all who came in and visited the live stream, I appreciate it. You don't know who I am. I'm Gen X Guy. Gen X Guy, the Generation X Guy on YouTube, but I go by Gen X Guy. I've been in tech, real estate for most all my life. Even back to when I was in the 4th grade, I was writing code back on an old IBM XT, basic DOS days, back when I was in elementary school. And ended up doing tech, computer science, and then took it to the real estate industry in the meat of my career. And so I started this channel back in September of last year, and the goal was to help you guys navigate and give you the unfiltered truth, the no BS on tech, money, and life. I've done it for a long time, and if I can help any of you out there, I would be glad to do it. So we do these live streams every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to keep doing them. And even if I don't get but a couple people in the live stream, that's fine. I'll keep doing them, and we'll continue to grow the channel. And I appreciate you guys subscribing, all my people that have been with me. Do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel. It'll help me a lot. I'm trying to get past 1,000 subscribers. It seems like I'm right there. It's just getting over the edge, but we'll get there with your help. And I'm going to keep creating the content and going from there. So, you guys have a great rest of your day, great week. We'll see you next Wednesday, 2 o'clock. Gen X Guy out. See you. Bye.